back to the Childhood Cancer Perspective. I want to thank you once again, as always, for sticking with me through this journey as I give you the inside point of view look at pediatric cancer, from diagnosis to hospice care to treatments to speaking with the doctors, protocols, and everything in between and surrounding that. Getting it from the point of view of somebody that's been in it versus somebody that just advocates for it, it can be a little bit different, give you a little bit more an idea of what it's truly like and what we're truly looking for in the future and what it's like to be a parent going through this. Now, I had a lot to talk about last week, and I actually wanted to talk about some more things this week. However, I decided that what I wanted to do right now, based on my current life situation and what I'm trying to do more of, is I want to speak about what it's like to be an advocate and what you need to do to be an advocate. If you want to take away from what you're hearing in these podcasts and from these episodes, if you want to take away and turn it into your own advocacy, if you want to take it and push for change or awareness in pediatric cancer, or if you want to take it and run in your own, what I like to say, your own hill to die on, your own mission that you feel like you need to have more awareness or more cause and more eyes on it, you can take away these same tips and tricks and you can apply them to whatever your mission or your cause is. Now, on July 3rd, 2021, at 4:15 a.m., JC Rose Sunshine, our beautiful red-headed unicorn Valentine's baby, took her last breath in her bed, in her mother and I's arms, as her sisters slept in their beds. Um, from that moment forward, our life changed. It was never going to be the same. Our life changed the day that she was diagnosed, but our life changed when she took her last breath in a way that wouldn't be realized right away, a way that wouldn't be shown to us. We always knew that we were going to run Battle Corn until it wasn't needed anymore. That was the point. We were going to run it as an antithesis of whatever businesses are out there that we don't want to be in business. We want to not be needed anymore and be able to just shut the doors and do something else. Focus our efforts elsewhere. But until that happens, we were always going to run Battle Corn to give back the way that people gave back to us, to give children a reason to smile and a reason to escape reality when it came to a diagnosis of pediatric cancer. Um, there are hundreds of different types of pediatric cancer, and none of them can be related to bad lifestyles. Maybe you can come up with ways that they can be connected to certain types of things, whether it's food or environment. But the reality of the situation is, childhood cancer is shitty luck. Um, Genetics play some part in it. There are some certain types of genes like Leaf-Remini. Um, there's a I believe it's T51 or T52 gene, excuse me, that can make you more susceptible to types of brain cancers or types of other cancers. So there are genetic factors that can be involved. However, most of these childhood cancers are based on just shitty luck. There's no rhyme or reason. They don't understand why a child that is completely healthy and happy and running around and living her life as a 6-year old with none of the factors that I just explained, that all of a sudden develop a very, very rare and deadly form of brain cancer. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no meanings. There's no understandings. That's part of the issue. That's one of those issues that, as an advocate, I fight for. I fight for people to listen. I fight for people to look and to see. You're in the back of the room. At this point right now, pediatric cancer is in the back of the room, and we don't have a seat at the table. There's no space for us to sit down. So we're at the back of the table going, hey, 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 it's me. Guys, I'm back here. You need to pay attention to me. You need to pay attention to what I'm doing, what I'm saying. And you get people roll their eyes. People turn away. People walk away. People ignore you. People pass you in the street. Whatever. They don't want to hear what you have to say. You want to know why? Because it's a very, very touchy subject to talk about sick children. And it's not something that's fun to talk about. It's not something that's exciting to talk about. It doesn't grab the headlines like everything else that you see on the news right now. And what's sad about it actually is that there's a news station that we have worked with through Battle Corn and through our family, that has turn down a lot of stories to speak about what we're doing, whether it's our annual fundraising efforts, or it's our trip to the Capitol, or going to DC to speak to senators and representatives, and to be a part of a community there that understands everything we're going through and just wants to be heard. We're turned down. And if you follow a lot of these families on social media or anything like that, you will see that they receive the same type of response. A lot of times, either the stories just go unheard, or they're just completely told no, that that's not going to fit in our lineup. We don't get we don't get that seat at the table. We don't get that 5 minutes or 15 minutes of fame on the 5 o'clock news. Now, I will tell you personally that my family and Battlecorn have been on the news probably a half a dozen times, and but that's not for the lack of a lack of incredible effort on our part to continue to bug these people to say, hey, you need to hear what we're saying. You need to listen to what we're doing, because it is important. It is affecting a massive, massive population of people, not only in the country, but specifically right here in Wisconsin where we live. And that's what we're trying to fix. So, advocating means that you're going to go that extra mile every single day. If that means that you have a full time job and you are doing this on the side, that means that every time you come in contact with somebody that maybe doesn't understand why you're wearing a gold ribbon, or you have gold ribbon earrings, or maybe you have a temporary tattoo, whatever, that you've put on from one of the organizations, or you have a pen, or a button or something that sparks them to ask, what does that mean? That means that's your time to shine as an advocate. That's your time to say, yeah, this means gold is for pediatric cancer. Gold is one of the most precious metals in the world, and that's why gold represents children, because they are the most precious asset that we have. And we're losing them every single day at a rapid rate, and a rapid rate that you don't hear about in the news, right? You hear about every other reason that a child could pass. You hear about every other reason that somebody could pass, but you don't hear about it being from cancer, because that's not as glamorous to talk about. That's not as it doesn't grab the audience like all the other subjects do. And while every other subject that takes a child away from their parents and takes them and they leave this planet, they leave this earth, they go to heaven, whatever, that's important and that's tragic. But they're all important and they're all tragic. And there's an entire population of children, 47 children every single day in the US, every single day, walk into a hospital or go into a hospital room and have a CT or an MRI done or have blood testing done in 47 different children. That means 47 families every single day are going to hear the words, your child has cancer. It could be stage 1, it could be stage 4, it could be brain cancer or leukemia or osteosarcoma or neuroblastoma, or it could be rhabdomyosarcoma, okay? It could be fibrolamellar hepatocellular carcinoma. It could be choroid plexus carcinoma. I could go on forever. But the fact is, cancer is taking away our children at a rapid rate, but they are not doing as much about it because it is considered a rare disease by the Rare Diseases Act. It is your job as an advocate, or as whether it's part time or full time, it is your job as an advocate to make people understand that it's not rare. And to say that it's rare and that's why enough funding is being given to them, or saying, we're already giving you so much, you're saying to me, what I hear when I hear that is that you're saying that 1,800 children every single year that pass away is acceptable loss. That's an acceptable rate of loss that we have determined is okay based on the amount of funding that we're giving. That's what I hear. And that's what you should hear too. Now, another form or another way that you advocate is simply by sharing stories, simply by getting involved with these families. And I don't mean that you have to go to their house for dinner, that you have to hang out with them on the weekends or become Facebook friends. It's about just following the stories through social media, or even through the media if it actually makes it on, following those stories, getting them um, getting them more coverage and more interaction, sharing those stories on your social media, or sharing those stories with your friends and family. The organizations that are working hard to try to end childhood cancer, or to make the treatments better, to make them less toxic, that are sending care packages, that are doing whatever they can to make this life as a cancer child, a cancer patient, and a cancer parent, and a cancer family a little more bearable and a little less horrible. Those organizations also, what you have to do is you have to share their stories. You have to donate to them if you can. You have to post them on your social media. You have to, if they have a mailing list, you have to get on their mailing list. And if they have events, you go to their events. You spread this around your office, around your family. It's about creating a big, massive army that nobody can say no to. You have to understand that one of the biggest things I think that I took away from CureFest was one simple line that says, as a lot of people screaming and yelling, a lot of people screaming and yelling in the fight for pediatric cancer, um, you're heard, but you're not understood, and you may be passed over because it's if you've ever heard a lot of people screaming and yelling in one area, you can't understand what's going on, and therefore you tune it out because it's not worth trying to figure out what's going on if you can't understand it. However, if that same group of people is screaming and yelling the same exact thing, it just becomes amplified. It becomes louder. It becomes impossible to ignore, impossible to turn away from, impossible to tune out. So, as an advocate, what you're doing is you're trying to connect with these organizations, connect with these families, connect with these groups that will give you and them both at the same time a more powerful voice and allow those people from the outside to actually hear what's happening, to hear you and what you're saying and not be able to turn away. That's the point. That's the understanding when it comes to trying to be an advocate for pediatric cancer or anything that you want to be an advocate for. Um, Being an advocate as well means that you are willing to take on that responsibility of being a voice. I've often said that although these children are absolutely amazing, and I would recommend that any single one of you out here, that anybody out here, if you ever meet one of these kids, you take the time. Take the time to sit and talk to them. Take the time to sit and listen to them. Take the time to just be around them in their presence and soak that in because these kids are the most genuine and unbelievably loving, affectionate. They are giving, they are kind. They are the true meaning of the world of the word genuine that we're missing in this world. And I've said that before. If you just take the energy that you get from one of these kids that you get to meet, or hell, if you are able to follow them on social media and watch their, if they put them in videos, or whether it's in, JC used TikTok as an outlet. She used that as a way um, to dance and just forget about everything that was going on. And you could even tell. And I post things sometimes on the TikTok page that I now run that she would go out there and she would look like, or she would, there were days you could tell that she was not moving as fast, that didn't have as much energy, that she was tired, that she didn't feel well, but she would still get in there and make a TikTok. Why? Not because she was doing it for followers. She didn't even care. As a matter of fact, she made hundreds and hundreds of videos on TikTok that I found after she passed that she just drafted. She never even posted. She just wanted to go do it because it was a way for her to have an outlet. It was a way for her to just be herself and not worry about everything else that was going on in the world. And she used that as her ability. That was her escape from everything. And so even if you followed those videos, or even if you went and saw any of these families out there and followed the videos of these kids, I think you would be unbelievably touched and wanting to make a difference so that these kids could continue that same exact energy and that same exact genuine heart into adulthood. It would give you that push that you needed to make a change, to make a difference. We've noticed a lot. I think in our community, as a pediatric cancer community, we notice a lot that there are a ton of families, there are a ton of people, a ton of good hearted people that have zero connection to pediatric cancer. They don't have a child with pediatric cancer. They may not even have kids. But their connection is that they see that genuine, that kindness, that warrior heart. They see that and they want to be a part of it, and they want to make sure that they're a part of whatever amazing things these kids are going to do, and they're inspired. So we've noticed, at least I have, that we have a lot of people like that in our community, a lot of people like that that follow us on social media, a lot of people that um, are in our community that have no connection to it at all, but they want to be a part of what we're doing because we're going to make a difference, and it's because it's for our kids. These kids, like I said, are the most precious thing that we have on this planet, the most precious asset that we will never get back. Childhood comes and goes. The difference is some of us get to remember our childhood, but so many don't even get to finish living it. And because of that, we need more people that are willing to get out there, to make the phone calls, to send the emails, um, to show up. We just need you to show up and show your support. And as an advocate, as even if you're just an advocate in the sense that you're there for us when we ask you to be there for us, or you share a story out, you reach out to us and say, how can I help? You're going to be an advocate. You're advocating for the future of our children, the future of our country. Um, I try very, very hard not to get political when it comes to my podcast, but think about this. Getting senators, getting representatives, getting assembly, getting whatever, Congress as a whole to listen to you when it comes to pediatric cancer is very hard. Very hard because a lot, if not all of them, really only focus on and support bills or change or legislation that affects them personally, because that's where they want to fight the hardest, right? You fight the hardest for what's most personal to you. And unfortunately, if none of these um, Congress representatives, anything like that, if none of them have children that are facing these types of battles, they're not going to support you in the way you want to be supported because they don't understand how you feel. Now, we've always said as parents that we don't want you to understand how we feel. I don't want anybody, especially the people that are in our community, especially the people that have children, especially the people that have children that are battling cancer. I don't want any of them to ever understand the feeling of what it's like to watch your child suffer, to watch your child take their last breath, to watch your child give their last acknowledgement, telling you that they're okay. And you know what that means. On a sidebar, the night that JC passed, she woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't breathe. We got her up, we got her on oxygen, we got her calmed down. It was like she was having a panic attack, or um, like an asthma attack, almost is what it kind of seemed like. She was really struggling to breathe, couldn't catch her breath, couldn't calm down. We finally got her calmed down and got her back to sleep. We thought, okay, we're okay, she's okay. It wasn't that much longer before she woke up and it started happening again. At that point, something inside of you says you have you you just have to ask, JC, are you okay? She looked at me, and for those in the video that can see this, she looked at me. She couldn't speak, okay? At this point in her life, and the end of her life, she was no longer able to speak to us. She could mouth words, but nothing would come out. So she nodded. I said, JC, are you okay? She shook her head, and she put the oxygen. She shook her head that she was okay. I knew she wasn't. In my heart, I knew she was not. I told my wife, I said, you need to go get Annalisa and Miley because I think this is it. She went and got them. They came in. They held her hand. They told her it was okay. They told her that they loved her. They looked her in the eyes. She looked at them. And within minutes, she became unresponsive. She was breathing, but she was essentially in a coma. We carried her into her room. We put her in her room. And we sat there with her for a while before finally at 4:15 her heart stopped and she stopped breathing. And we knew that it was the end. We knew that she had passed, but we also knew that she was gone far before she took that last breath. That she was sitting in that room with us, holding our hands, letting us know that it was okay. So when I asked her in our bedroom at night, when I asked her, "Are you okay?" She knew. She knew what was happening, but she knew that she needed to make sure that we were okay. And the reason I say that is for the same reason that I'm not going to speak about it today, but the same reason another family very close to us, their daughter did the same thing before she passed. She told somebody, "Hey, you're going to be okay." These children are the most genuine and incredible people that you will ever meet in your life. You will never come across somebody else in your life. I have always said you meet a very few genuine people in your life before you pass. And before all of this happened with our daughter, there was a friend of mine that I worked with at the post office that he developed cancer. And he was the nicest, most genuine person I'd ever met in my entire life. The man couldn't hurt a fly. The man was just an incredible giver. And all he wanted to do was make people happy and laugh, even till his last day. Always. And I remember being able to say goodbye to him. But until that day, I had never met anybody like that. When JC came along and her attitude and her life and her aura and everything around her, it was different. And meeting and being with her as her father, and then meeting so many of these families, we need more people like them, like their spirits, like their hearts. We need more people like that in our world, in our society right now. We need that, and we don't have it. And I am blessed to say that I'm able now to focus my efforts on advocating for these kids and giving them a voice that they don't have, a seat at the table that they don't have. And because of that, we're trying to grow our network of advocacy, grow our network of people that want to be a part of what we're doing and want to travel with us to the capitals and want to travel with us to meet with senators and representatives and to go to hearings and whatever we need to do to ensure that our voice is heard. Now, I said it not too long ago. We're told all day that we don't have a seat at the table, that there's not enough space for us. To me, I say the hell with that. We build a bigger damn table, and then we sit our ass down and we make sure that every single person at that table and every single person within earshot hears every single word that we have to say. If you want to be an advocate for these kids, if you want to be an advocate for anything, you have to ensure that you care enough to want to see a difference. And you care enough that your cause is seen all the way through to victory. You cannot give up halfway because things got hard. You cannot walk away because you don't get the answers that you want. You have to be willing to fight tooth and nail until the efforts are rewarded for what you want to come out of it. Now, I will tell you, it is a very long, hard road when it comes to advocating for kids. It is a very hard road, and their rewards are small. Every victory that I have when it comes to advocating for these kids, whether it's for legislation or whether it's for funding, every victory that I have is behind 10 losses. And when I say a loss, I mean, I look at it like if I reach out to somebody and they don't respond to me, that's a loss. If I reach out to somebody and they tell me that the best advice they can give me is the same thing I've already been doing, that's a loss. If I reach out to somebody or if I try to set up a meeting and it doesn't go in the direction that makes any sense to what we're doing, or we're given information that says that there's already stuff in place for what you're asking for, I consider that a loss. But I consider it a win when I can speak to somebody over and over again, continue to get their advice and input, continue to get them on my side and on our side, and then I'm told. The greatest thing that I've been told in this entire fight, in this entire thing that I've started doing from the day that JC passed away when I said, I'm going to do this. We're going to make a difference. And it was recent. These kids need you. Wisconsin needs you. Your fight is important, and it's important to me. A senator recently told me that when I thought I may have hit a brick wall. I may have hit a stop that I wasn't going to be able to get past. I've put myself on the line to be an advocate for these kids. I left a job of 12 years with a pension and a retirement plan and health insurance and everything. I walked away from 12 years on the job, making decent money. Because if you're not happy and it's not something that you're passionate about, then no amount of money is going to make your life fulfilled. You have to do what you're passionate about. Now, not everybody can do what I'm doing and be able to leave their job or their career. You're not stable enough, or you don't have the option to be able to do that. And I'm not asking you to. This can all be done on your off day. This can be done in the evening. This can be done, like I said, as simply as sharing a social media post, sharing a Twitter or an X post, whatever you want to call it, an Instagram, a Snapchat, sharing a Facebook, or sharing a TikTok. It doesn't matter. If you're sharing these videos and this content, or you are showing up to the rallies, or you are coming to events that are being held to raise money for pediatric cancer research, if you're showing up, you're making a difference. You're making a difference. And you can be an advocate. You can be an advocate and still live your life. You can be an advocate and have nothing to do with the cause that you're supporting. It can just be extremely important to you. Pediatric cancer research, pediatric cancer funding, pediatric cancer in general is always going to be the hill that I'm going to die on, because my daughter went through absolute fucking hell every single day for 520 days. She went through hell. Hell that she didn't deserve. I still think that there was a lot of unnecessary treatments. There was unnecessary ways that we went about things. I think there was information left off. I don't think we were given all the tools that we needed to successfully beat her cancer. But it doesn't matter now. She fought very, very hard for those 520 days. And if I could have any of that time back, I would take it in a second. I would give my time for hers any day of the week. And I think any parent listening would do the same thing for their kids. But right now, the best thing that I can do, the best thing that I can offer her from this chair while she's in heaven, is that I continue to spread her voice, her message, and her mission to the rest of this country and the rest of this state in general, but the rest of this world, to share everything that she had inside of her and everything that I know she was going to be able to share, everything that I know she was going to be able to accomplish. I have to continue to share that, continue to push that out, continue to not let the word no stop me. As a matter of fact, I tell people I like hearing the word no. And it may shock you in a fight like this and in a battle like this, but hearing the word no just lights a bigger fire under my ass, and it makes me want to fight harder. It makes me want to find out why it is that something this important to me is not important to you. Because when I said I didn't want to get political, this is why. These children right now at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, 11 years old, whatever, any of these children as adolescents do not have the ability to vote for the people that are supposed to be making the change for them. They don't have the ability to vote. So as bad as it sounds, their voice is not as important as somebody like me that can actually vote the people in and out that are making the decisions. That's why we have to speak up for them. We have to be their voices. We have to build the bigger damn table. And then we have to be the ones to sit at that table and get every single other person sitting there to listen to what we have to say. There is not an army on this planet that I have met or that I have seen that is more organized and dedicated than pediatric cancer advocates, than warrior fighters out there, the kids themselves, their families, their friends, their networks of people. I have never seen a more organized group of people that will not stop until change is made, that will not stop until our voices are fucking heard. So, if this is something you feel like you can handle, something that you feel like you can shoulder the weight of, and it is heavy, I urge you, you can reach out to me anytime. You can find my information through this podcast. You can find my information through any one of our social media handles. If you're watching the video, you can see it at the end of the video. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, every other, whatever you can think of, we're on it. And you can find us. You can find Battle Corn Care Package, or you can search for my name. You can get information on how you can make a bigger difference in your state, in this country, with this group, with this organization, with this community of people, this army that I will forever dub JC's Redhead Army. We are not going to stop until there's a difference made. And I'm not going to stop because somebody told me, hey, we get enough. No, we don't. We don't get enough because far too many of us sit here every single day and we don't have our kids with us anymore. So if you think you can be part of this, and like I said before, if you can take the information I've given and you can use it to fight for the cause you're excited about or that you're passionate about, go for it. But if you want to be part of an incredible community of people that is the most dedicated, that is the most organized, that is the most incredible, that is the loudest, that will be there for you no matter what, and that will go scorched earth for any other family in this community, join us. Join this Redhead Army and let's fight for pediatric cancer. Let's fight for these kids to have a chance. Let's fight for these kids to have a future. Because damn it, too many of us do not get to see the milestones. We don't get to see proms. We don't get to see driver's license. We don't get to see high school graduations. We don't get to see college. We don't get to see that. We miss out on all that. I miss out on scaring away the boys that would come be a suitor for JC. I miss out on that. I missed out on watching her become a NICU nurse. I missed out on being able to watch her walk down the aisle. I miss out on being able to have conversations with her because she made stupid mistakes. And so many other parents miss out on those opportunities too. So if you feel like you can handle this weight and you want to be a part of this, reach out, find a way to get in touch with us, or find a way to get in touch with any organization in your area that fights for pediatric cancer research, funding, and just awareness in general, and ask how you can get involved. As a matter of fact, every single organization near you that you look up, I guarantee if you go to the top of their page, there's a way it says get involved and there's a volunteer link. And you can volunteer at an event. You can do whatever you need to do, but get involved. This is my information on how to advocate and how you can do your best when it comes to pediatric cancer, but also the cause that means the most to you. I will be back next week with another episode. Again, I keep saying it, but I hope I can get the next episode up with my wife on here with me or with one of my girls, because I know that their aspect and their perspective on things is also important. Plus, it gives them a reason to talk and me to shut up for a minute. So thank you guys so much again for sticking with me through this entire thing. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the views and the follows, and I hope we can continue this. If you have ideas for anything that you would like me to talk about, please reach out through this podcast, or you can reach out through any of our social media. Just write in there that you heard from the childhood cancer perspective and you want to give me some information on topics you'd like me to cover, or maybe you have a question about something that you went through and it might resonate with us. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.